Jesus called them perverse, he did not say that they were contrary, and he did not say that they were perverted. He used a term, diastrepho. It means distorted. It means corrupt. It means misinterpreted. Their understanding of what he had told them was distorted. Somehow their comprehension was corrupt, and so they misinterpreted what Jesus said to them. Very simply, it was because they failed to take Jesus at his word and act upon his commands. When we get to that point, we have a significant problem. When we fail to take Jesus at his word and act upon his commands, we have a big problem in our lives. But thanks be unto God. In the same incident as Jesus called them perverse, I found the solution to that problem. I'm going to share it with you today because there are some of us whose understanding is perverse. There are those under the sound of my voice right now whose understanding is distorted, whose comprehension is corrupted, who have misinterpreted what the Master has said. And so I want to give you the solution to the problem while you're hiding in the crowd, so nobody knows that I'm talking to you except you. But interestingly, the solution issued neither from Christ nor from his disciples. It came from the father of that demon-possessed boy when he said, "Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief." Can I tell it? Some of us need to get real with God today. Some of us need to be honest with God today. You have faith, but you also have doubt residing with your faith. You have faith, but you have doubt fighting with your faith. And some of us just need to go on and give it up and ask God to help us out. Because doubt and faith are fighting together, our understanding has become perverse. Because doubt and faith have been allowed to live together in our psyche, our perception has become distorted. Our comprehension has become corrupted. Because we've allowed doubt and faith to walk hand in hand, we have misunderstood or misinterpreted. But we need to get real with Jesus and say, like this boy's father said, "Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief." We need to ask God to help our unbelief. We need to ask God to fix our unbelief. We need to ask God to eradicate our unbelief. Help me out here. I want to be a faith-filled child of God, but I can't be filled with faith if I don't believe. That man on that day was so real with God that the scripture says, Mark says, that he cried out with tears. You know it had to be real because men don't like to cry. Now women, you've been delivered from that. You free. Some women will cry at the drop of a hat and drop the hat so they can cry. But a brother will choke a tear back, put on sunglasses, do whatever he has to do to hold that thing back. But it got real to this father. If that's what it takes for my son to be delivered, then help my unbelief. Do what it takes. Help me out. And some of us are at a point where we need to ask God, help my faith out. It's not like I'm totally sold out to doubt, but there's enough doubt existing that I'm not sure. And I need you to help me be sure. Am I talking to somebody today? Jesus did exactly that. He helped that man's unbelief by casting out that demon and then by healing that boy's infirmities. He helped the father's unbelief. And I believe that God is going to do some things to help our unbelief. I believe that God is going to stop by that situation that has you stymied and deliver you so that he can help your unbelief. I believe that he's going to come into some circumstances and completely turn them around so that he can turn your faith around. Why are you saying this? I'm saying this so that you can watch for your deliverance, watch for your miracle, watch for your victory, and then let your blessing, your next blessing, help your unbelief. Let your next miracle heal your unbelief. Let your next deliverance eliminate your unbelief. And tell yourself, if God can do this, he can do anything. Believe. Help thou mine unbelief. I'm almost finished. Finally, apistia is unfaithfulness. This manifests itself in a lack of commitment to our covenant and to its attendant responsibilities. It is outright disobedience. It is not believing that God says what he means and means what he says. It's not believing, as my dad used to say, that fat meat is greasy. Y'all ever got that? Oh, you don't believe fat meat is greasy, do you? I had to learn the hard way that fat meat is greasy, and it had nothing to do with eating fat meat. This apistia, this unfaithfulness, is unwillingness and disobedience. And as I said, any of these can stop the flow of God's power in our lives. But to the believer, unbelief and unfaithfulness are the fatal errors that will set us up for failure and cause us to miss our season. God says, I want you to be blessed. I have declared for this house and those associated with this house a season of blessing. But even though God has declared for this house and those associated with this house a season of blessing, there are going to be those right here in this house who will miss their blessings. They will miss their blessings because they miss the blesser. Can I preach like I feel it? I do not want you to be like Jerusalem was on the day of Jesus' so-called triumphal entry into the city. You will remember the entire city was moved at his entry, but they didn't know who he was. Luke says the city was moved. Matthew says they were asking, who is this guy? Who is he? They didn't know who he was. Luke says he burst out crying. Jesus began to weep over the city and said, if you had only knew in this your day the things that belong to your peace, but because you did not know, because you didn't recognize who I am, they will be hidden from you.